What's going on, guys? I'm Built, and welcome back to another Minecraft Bedrock farm tutorial video. In this video today, I'm going to be showing you the most manly flower farm on Bedrock Edition. You heard me right. I've deemed this thing the most manly flower farm on Bedrock because this thing puts out on average 110,000 flowers per hour. Well, I know what you're thinking, and that is, who needs 110,000 flowers per hour? Well, I'll give you two reasons for it. One reason is if you're doing a ton of large builds with a bunch of concrete, then you're going to want those flowers, and you're going to want a ton of dye to convert all of the concrete into whatever color powdered concrete that you would like. Using that much concrete can use up a ton of dye, along with using the dye and flowers for many other things. The second reason is if you don't like waiting around for your small flower farm to produce a mass number of flowers, then this one will produce a ton of flowers and give them to you very quickly. So in order to show you how to use this farm, what you're going to do is grab a flower of your choice. You can grab any of these single tall flowers, excluding these last 5 flowers. These last 4 are going to be too tall, and the withered rows you are not able to use. However, you can pick any of these flowers here that you want to duplicate. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a poppy. You're going to go around here to the door, go inside of here, and then we are going to silk touch a piece of grass. That way we can pick it up. We're going to remove the flower right here and place down the flower that we want to duplicate right here. We can go ahead and cover up that grass. All of our bone meal is going to go inside of this double chest here. And you can always extend this if you want to add many more double chests to it. That way you have plenty of bone meal to run this farm. Once you have done that, we can go around here to the side. We have 2 levers here. This one on the left is going to be our flushing lever that we use to flush this. Now this farm does automatically flush it. However, whenever the farm is done running, it is going to leave flowers on the deck here. So you're going to want to use this lever in order to flush it. That way you get all of your flowers. Or if you don't care, you can let them despawn, whichever way works best for you. In order to turn it on, this right lever here, you're just going to flip that up, and that's going to turn the farm on. And then it's going to start producing many flowers. Now the poppy that I placed down is going to produce the poppies and the dandelions. So it's going to produce 2 different types of flowers. However, some of the other flowers are not going to do that. This thing is going to run about roughly 30 seconds before it decides to flush all of the flowers down. And then once it starts to flush everything down, it's going to start placing them inside of this unloader here. And after about 30 seconds, it's going to start its flush cycle, and it's going to push the flowers off. A lot of the flowers are not going to be pushed off. Do not worry, they're going to be pushed off the second time, as it constantly pushes flowers towards the right hand side. And it's going to do it about every 30 seconds, so you're never going to have to worry about any of your flowers ever despawning. It's going to take a couple flush cycles for this thing to start unloading at max rates. However, it's going to fill up this double chest very quickly. And we are just starting the 3rd rinse cycle, and that's going to place our unloader just about at max unloading speed. So if you look at this chest, you can see just how fast this thing fills up, as it is being filled with a 10 times hopper speed unloader. And this is not going to keep you waiting very long to get your hands on whatever flowers that you need. So once you're done using the farm, you're just going to shut off this right hand lever here, and that's going to stop the farm, and everything that's on top of the deck of the farm here needs to be washed away. So then you're going to toggle that left lever there, which is going to flush everything. And as soon as everything gets flushed off, you want to turn that off. You don't want to leave that water running too long, or else it's also going to wash away the grass as well. So as soon as you see that last flower go into the water there, then you can go ahead and turn that off. Now the water is going to trigger that observer, which is going to dispense some more bone meal, but that's fine. Those can stay inside of there, and that's not going to hurt anything, and it will just be ready for the next time you fire up the farm. Now without the farm running, it's not going to continue unloading here, and I did that way it's not lagging up your server. So if you want to go ahead and finish filling up this double chest here, you can go ahead and hit this lever here, which is going to turn on that 10 times hopper speed unloader, and it is going to unload very quickly for you. So say that you need the storage space rather than everything centralized inside of a single double chest like this one, you can go ahead and remove all of this down below if you have already built it, or you can just not build it in general. Go ahead and leave all of your top hoppers here facing straight down. Then you could just take you some double chest, and we're just going to place some double chest right underneath all of those hoppers, and that's going to give you 6 double chest full of storage. And you can always extend these down if needed, and that should solve all of your storage issues. By the way, if you don't need 110,000 flowers per hour and you're just looking for a simple small flower farm, I have 2 different size smaller ones here that I have recently built, and they are on my channel. Both of those are on the same tutorial. The smaller one is a 5x5 flower farm design, and the one that I am standing on is a 7x7. These are both very simple and easy to build, and they don't have any collection systems, so they're nice and reliable, and you will be able to gather all of your flowers very easily. If you're interested in those will be linked down inside of the description below. What do you say? Enough jibber jabber. Let's get to building this thing. Everything that you're going to need is going to be inside of the description below. And while you're down there, if you end up liking the video, drop a like. It really does help out the channel. And if you're new here, consider subscribing. That way you don't miss awesome farms like the one that I'm about to show you. Thanks. Alright guys, the first thing that you're going to do is find out a suitable location in order to build this farm. You're going to mark out a 13 by 13 area like the one that's directly behind me. This area does need to be chunk aligned and it should not have any chunk borders going through any part of it. Chunk aligning is going to guarantee reliability of this farm and make sure that it works each and every time that you go to use it. So make sure that you chunk align it, that way it always works properly for you. If you need help chunk aligning, then I have a shorts video in the top right now. That video is going to show you how to chunk align in less than a minute using the leaf method. Is very easy and simple to do and takes very little resources. If you want to download a resource pack, then I recommend downloading one by Foxy No-Tail, and I'll link that down inside the description below. That resource pack you can toggle on. It does not use any cheats or anything else like that. So you will still have all of your achievements inside of your world, and it will outline all of the chunk borders for you. It works very well, and it is what I use on all of my stuff. Again, that will be linked down below. Alright guys, the first thing that you're going to want to do is find out where you want the front of the farm to be. You can place it on any of these four sides. I'm going to be placing it on this side here, and I'm going to be calling this the front of the farm with the double chest, and the levers are going to be on the left hand side of it. So I want this as the front, and I'm going to place the front right here. So we're just going to place down a visual reminder that the front of the farm is going to be intended to be here. So now that we know where the front of the farm is going to be, we're going to go to the front right, and we're going to go to this corner block here. We're going to count to the left, counting this block by 5. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. On this fifth block here, we're going to count forwards, counting this block 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And on this one, we're going to remove this block here and this block here. Now we're going to remove the next 6 blocks going forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to remove these all the way back down here. Next, I like to never place any redstone on dirt. That way it doesn't get dug up from underneath. So then I'm going to fill these in with some stone brick. Once you've done that, you're going to grab your target blocks, and we're going to remove 1 row on each side here. And then we're going to fill up where you just removed with all of your target blocks. Next, we're going to go ahead and grab us some stone bricks, and we're going to go to this right hand block here. We're going to skip this block and place down a block here. Then we're going to take our redstone dust, and we're going to fill all of our redstone dust all the way down here and all the way to the side here. Next, we can go ahead and grab our redstone torches. We're going to place a redstone torch on the very top of all of these target blocks. Next, you're going to grab your solid blocks again, and you're going to place a solid block on the very top of all of these redstone torches that you just placed down. And then you're going to take your redstone torches and place a redstone torch on the top of all of those solid blocks. Next, you're going to take your redstone torches again and place redstone torches on all of the sides of all of these blocks, excluding the front and the back. Next, you're going to take your solid blocks again, and you're going to place solid blocks on the top of all of your side torches. Don't place any blocks on top of the top torches. Next, grab your solid blocks again and go back to the front of the farm. We can go over here to the left hand side, and we're going to build this out by 1 with a temporary block. Place down a solid block here. Go ahead and remove that temporary block. Then we can go ahead and bring this all the way across until it meets up with all the others. Next, we can go to the very center of these blocks here, and we're going to come down here, place down a temporary block here, a solid block here, and a solid block here. Next, we can go down here, remove that temporary block. Go ahead and grab our redstone dust. Place redstone dust here and here. Then we're going to place redstone dust all the way across this side here. Next, we need to find the very center of the 7x7 area that we're going to be placing down all of our pistons on. So what we want to do is go to the very front of the farm, and we're going to find this block here. On this block here, we're going to count forwards by 4 in total, counting this block. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're going to count to the left by 4, counting this block. 1, 2, 3, and 4. This block here is going to be the very center. And we can go ahead and remove this block and remove the torch that's directly underneath it. Just make sure that you do not break the redstone that's directly underneath it. This area here is where our grass block's going to be in order to have our seed flower in order to run the farm. So what we need to do now is go back to the block that we started on. Go ahead and grab our sticky pistons, and we're going to build a sticky piston here and then 6 more to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then we're going to build from here forwards by an additional 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Next, we can go ahead and fill this entire area in, excluding the redstone and excluding this square here. And once you have done that, looking at it from the very front, this is what you should have. Go ahead and grab your grass block, and you want to make your way down here. On the side of these sticky pistons, you're just going to place a grass block right there in the center. Then you're going to place a grass block on top of all of these sticky pistons. Just do not cover up that very center grass block that you just placed down. Next, from the front, you're going to surround all three sides with a string of grass, excluding this very right hand side. So you're going to take your grass block and you're going to build this all the way around. And again, on the right hand side, you should not have any grass blocks here. Next, we're going to get started adding in our water stream. So we're going to go over here to the right hand side, take your packed ice, and on the side of this piston, you're going to place down a piece of packed ice. Then you're going to build to the left by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Go ahead and place a piece of packed ice down here. And then we're going to extend this out by an additional 3. 1, 2, and 3. On this last piece of packed ice here, we're going to take our chest and place down a chest here. This chest is going to help align all of the items that are going to be flowing into our system. Next, you can grab your glass, and we're going to be placing glass along all of these pistons here. And then we can bring this out by 2, and then place a glass pane on the side of it. We're going to bring this glass pane all the way over until it runs into that chest there. Next, you can go ahead and grab your glass again. We're going to place down a temporary block here, place down a piece of glass here, and then remove that temporary block. Place your glass over here. Then we can go up with the glass, bring the glass all the way over, and then we can place one final piece of glass here, and that's going to contain all of our water. Next, you want to grab some temporary blocks, and we're going to place in 6 temporary blocks going across like that. Then we're going to take our hoppers, and we're going to place our hoppers on the bottom of each one of these temporary blocks and glass panes here. Make sure whenever you're placing them that the hopper is facing straight down instead of connecting into a nearby block. And once you have all of your 12 hoppers facing straight down, we can go ahead and remove all 6 of these temporary blocks. Next, grab yourself a water bucket and come to this very last glass block here and place down your water bucket here. The water should flow all the way down and to the left hand side, stopping 1 block from the very end here. Next, you want to grab your glass and also your buttons. Go ahead and grab your glass first, and we're going to place a piece of glass here, a piece of glass to the left hand side of it. Then we're going to build this up, build this all the way around. Skip the corner block there, place glass here. We're going to go all the way around here, all the way around here, and then all the way around here, stopping right back where you started, and you should have a square going around just like so. Next, grab your buttons, and we're going to fill this entire side here next to the water stream with buttons going all the way across. Those buttons are going to stop the water from mixing with the water down here inside of the water stream. Next, grab yourself 4 regular pistons and come to the left hand side of your farm. And you are going to start in this front left corner and place down a piston here. Jump and place down a piston on top of it. Then you're going to go to the very far left back corner and you're going to count to the left by 3. 1, 2, and 3. And then you're going to place a piston here and a piston on top of it. You should have 4 pistons in total, and they should be inside of these positions here. Next, grab your glass again. We're going to go to the very back left corner and we're going to go to this block here and remove it. This is where our door is going to be. Then we're going to take our glass and we're going to build this all the way up 1 additional layer all the way around. And then once you've done that, you're going to take your glass again, go to this piston here, place down a piece of glass here, 3 pieces here. Then you're going to place 3 additional pieces here. Next, we're going to get started placing in our bone meal system. So we want to go ahead and grab a dropper, a dispenser, some hoppers, an observer, a sticky piston, and also a double chest. And we're also going to need some glass also. You want to start by going down here and find where the hole is. Look over here towards the pistons, and we're going to take our glass and we're going to build this all the way over until that is over top of that hole. Next, we can go ahead and remove this block here. We can go ahead and temporarily remove that sticky piston as well. And then we're going to face up. Go ahead and grab your dropper and place down your dropper facing straight down. Then grab your dispenser, crouch, and place down your dispenser facing straight down as well. Make sure that both of these are indeed facing straight down. Next, you can grab your sticky piston that you took out, replace it there. Go ahead and take your grass block and place it back there as well. Next, you want to go to the side that's closest to the pistons here, and we're going to remove this block here, and we're going to remove this sticky piston down here as well. You want to place a solid block that redstone can pass through on top of that torch there, and move up that sticky piston by 1. Then you're going to take your observer and face it towards these pistons here. So put it down. The arrow should be facing into the dropper and dispenser, and the face should be facing towards those pistons. Next, what we want to do is grab our hopper. We're going to crouch and place a hopper into the right hand side of that dropper. And then we're going to remove this glass block here. Come on top, and we're going to place down a hopper inside of that hopper there, and a hopper inside of the top of that dropper. Next, we're going to grab our glass and get started on our roof. So we want to go over here to these pistons, and we're going to build these out by 3 here, and then to the left by 1. We want a 2 block area in front of these pistons where the water can flow out of. And we're going to do the same thing to this side. So we're going to come out by 3, go across, and then fill this all the way around, leaving a 2 block area in front of each of these pistons. Next, we can go ahead and fill this all the way in, all the way across. Fill these in and fill up the entire roof, leaving those 2 by 1 areas uncovered. And once you're done with that, this is what you should have. The last thing that you need to do up here is just grab your double chest and place down your double chest on top of those hoppers there. And that double chest is where all of your bone meal is going to go. Now let's get started placing in all of the redstone that's going to run this farm. So next, make your way to the very back of the farm. And we're going to find this block that we placed down earlier. We're going to place down a temporary block here with a solid block on top of it. Remove that temporary block. Then we're going to place down another temporary block here. Place a block to the right hand side and a block to the very top. Remove that temporary block. And then we're going to place down a temporary block here, a permanent block here. Remove that temporary block. Then we're going to place down a temporary block here, a permanent block here, and remove that temporary block. You should have a staircase going all the way up. Then you can grab your redstone dust and bring your redstone dust all the way up that staircase. Next, we can place down 3 solid blocks here. Then we're going to place down a solid block here, a temporary block here, and a solid block here as well. Remove that temporary block in the middle. Then we're going to go here, and on this block here, we're going to place down a solid block, a temporary block, and a solid block to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 to the very back. Go ahead and remove that temporary block inside of the center as well. Next, we're going to go to this corner block here, and we're going to build this out by 1, towards the front of the farm by 2, towards the right of the farm by 2, and then we're going to bring this back by 1 to where it loops back around. Do not cover up this block here. Next, we're going to go inside of this hole here, and we're going to place down a temporary block down below and place in a solid block there. Go ahead and remove that temporary block, and then we are going to run this over here, all the way over to this piston here. Then we're going to bring this all the way over and run it into this piston here as well. Then you're going to take your solid blocks and place a solid block here and here, and that's going to keep the water inside of those pistons. Next, you're going to take your solid blocks again and place a solid block down here to the right hand side, and place a solid block down here to the right hand side. Then you can take your redstone dust and place redstone dust here and here. Then you can go ahead and grab you a redstone torch and place you a redstone torch here and a redstone torch here. Then we can grab our redstone dust and place down redstone dust all the way across these areas here, bringing it right back to this block here. Next, you're going to want to grab your levers, your redstone repeaters, your redstone torches, and also your redstone dust. Go ahead and take your levers and place a lever here and here. The one on the right, you want to turn that one on. Then you're going to grab your redstone repeaters, place a redstone repeater here, leave that on a standard 1 tick delay. You're going to turn all the way around, place down another one here, leave that one on the standard 1 tick delay. Then you're going to place one here. This one you want on a 4 tick delay. Next, take your redstone dust and you're going to place your redstone dust all the way down and around here. And then you can come down here to the side. And on the side here, you're going to place down a redstone torch here with redstone dust to the right hand side. It's going to cycle the farm for a brief moment and turn it off. Then whenever you turn off this lever here, it's going to turn the farm on. Whenever you turn it on, it's going to turn the farm off. If it is working, then you have done everything correctly and we can proceed to the next step. So go ahead and take your sticky piston and you're going to place a sticky piston here with a solid block here. Now, as soon as you go ahead and place that over there, it's going to activate those pistons. And whenever you turn that back off, it's going to activate the lower pistons. Next, we're going to take our redstone dust and we're going to place redstone dust right here with a torch to the right hand side of it. Grab your redstone dust again and we're going to place redstone dust on this block here as well. Then you want to grab you a temporary block, place down a temporary block here, a permanent block underneath it, remove that temporary block. Then you're going to bring this out by 1 and extend both of these all the way to the right hand side by 5. Next, you're going to take a temporary block and place one right here and place a solid block underneath it. Place a temporary block underneath that and a solid block to the left hand side. Remove that temporary block and that temporary block, and you should have a stairway moving down. We can now take a temporary block and place one right here, a solid block here, remove that temporary block. We're now going to extend this to the left by 3. 1, 2, and 3. On the second block here, we're going to remove that and move it down by 1. And then we're going to place down a temporary block here, a permanent block here, remove that temporary block, and this is what you should have. Next, grab your solid blocks again, and we're going to go to this block here. We're going to place down a solid block directly underneath it. Then we're going to extend this out to the back of the farm by 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Next, go back over here, and we're going to skip these 2 blocks here and place a block down on the third block here. And we're going to extend this to the back of the farm by 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's going to complete pretty much most all of the framework, and we are going to start placing in all of our redstone components now. So at this point, we can go ahead and grab us an observer. We're going to place down an observer right here on this block here, and make sure that that observer has the face of the observer facing towards the back of the farm, and the output arrow of that observer should be facing towards the front of the farm. Next, grab your redstone dust, and we're going to place our redstone dust here and here. Then go ahead and grab your redstone repeaters, and we're going to place a redstone repeater here, and a redstone repeater here as well. All 3 of these need to be set on a 4-tick delay. Then we're going to take our redstone dust and place our redstone dust just like that. Next, we're going to grab our redstone repeaters again, and we're going to come down here and place a redstone repeater here, facing out of that block on a standard 1-tick delay. Go ahead and grab your redstone dust, and we're going to place down 3 pieces of redstone dust going all the way up to that redstone torch. Go ahead and grab your redstone torches, and we're going to place down a redstone torch here and another redstone torch here. Take your redstone dust, and we're going to place 2 pieces of redstone dust here. Grab your redstone comparators. We're going to place down 3 redstone comparators here, here, and here. And then 3 more here, here, and here. And then we're going to take our redstone dust once more and place down 2 pieces here and here with a redstone repeater facing into this block here on a 4-tick delay. So this is what you should have. Next, we're going to get started on installing the brains of the operation that actually runs this farm. We're going to be placing a etho hopper clock right here. So you want to grab your regular pistons, and we're going to place a regular piston right here and a block of redstone on top of it. Go ahead and grab 2 temporary blocks and place a temporary block here and here with a permanent block here. Remove these 2 temporary blocks. Grab your regular piston, place down your regular piston right here. And then we are going to grab our hopper, place down a hopper right here. Go ahead and crouch and place a hopper going into that hopper. Remove this hopper and then crouch and place a hopper going into that hopper. You should end up with a hopper going back and forth just like this, where they're both connected. Next, we can go ahead and grab a redstone comparator, place a redstone comparator facing away from that hopper there, place another one facing away from that hopper there, with a piece of redstone dust here and a piece of redstone dust here. Now all we have to do is add some items into this. You want to take 1 stack plus 48 items and put those into the hoppers. It does not matter what items they are as long as they stack up to 64, and you are going to get the 110,000 flowers per hour rate. If you want the farm to flush more often, then you can place less items inside of these hoppers. If you want it to flush less often, then you can place in more items inside of the hoppers. However, going up or down in items inside of these hoppers may negatively impact the rates of the farm. Now the only thing left to do is to place in our 10 times hopper speed unloader, which is fairly straightforward. What we want to do is grab our redstone dust, and we're going to place down 5 pieces of redstone dust here. And we're going to go towards the side by 2. 1, 2. Go ahead and place in your redstone comparator and left click on that to put it inside of the subtract mode. And then we're going to place in redstone dust here all the way around. Now we're going to grab another lever, and we're going to place a lever here. And as soon as we turn that on, it's going to make a very fast ticking redstone clock. So we can go ahead and turn that off. And now we're going to add in the rest of the unloader here. Next, we're going to grab our droppers, and we're going to go to the very center of these hopper lines and find these 2 center hoppers. We're going to go to the very back 2. We're going to crouch and place a dropper here and a dropper here. Those should be dead in the center. And then we're going to turn around, and we're going to place in a dropper here facing towards me, and then a dropper here facing towards me. All of these should be facing towards the center. Then we can grab our hoppers, and on the very back side, we're going to crouch place a hopper here going into that dropper, and place a hopper here going into the back of that hopper. Make sure that both of those are flowing towards that dropper. Next, we're going to go across to the other side on the back, and we're going to do the same thing. Crouch place a hopper going into that dropper and a hopper going into that hopper. Next, on the front sides, we're going to place a hopper going into the side of that dropper and a hopper going into the side of that hopper. Next, we're going to take our target blocks, and we're going to place a target block underneath each one of these droppers. And then we're going to take our double chest and place a double chest here and here. Next, we can take our redstone dust and we're going to place our redstone dust all in here and then run it over and connect it right there. Now, as soon as we go ahead and turn that on, it's going to power all of our droppers and make them click. You can go ahead and test each one of these if you'd like, but it's going to shoot all of the items inside of that double chest. Next, we can go ahead and install our door. We want to install our door from the inside. That way it does not obstruct any of the items flowing down into the water stream. Now we only have a few finishing touches in order to finish up this farm. So what we need to do is go over here and make sure that our lever on the left-hand side is on, which is going to extend that piston over. And then we can come up here and waterlog both of these upper pistons, this one here and this one here. Do not waterlog that bottom piston, only the top piston. Then we can go ahead and grab some glass and cover this up. That way nothing falls inside of our farm. And then all we need to do at this point is fill this chest full of a ton of bone meal. And then we're going to go down here, remove one of these blocks so we can go ahead and plant the flower down there. Then we can recover that up. And now it's time to run the farm. So in order to run the farm, we're just going to throw on that right hand lever and see if it works. We have some bone meal action happening. And we'll just wait around for a minute to see if the farm flushes and to see if our unloader is working. And the farm is actively flushing. All of the flowers are going down, and it'll probably take a couple times to get the whole unloader primed up. That way it's going at maximum speed. And as you can see, this thing is pumping out at the maximum rate. Flowers are just flying out of this thing. Well guys, that's going to wrap up this Minecraft farm tutorial video. I really hope this tutorial helped you guys out, and I hope this flower farm works for a very long time inside of your Minecraft survival worlds. If you feel like this video deserved a rating, then please drop a like below. It really does help out the channel and it helps new people find my content. If you're new here, then consider subscribing. There's a ton of farms on my channel and I'm always up to building something crazy. That's all from me for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.